Barney, I know how tough it has been for you. Ever since the funeral of your best friend Hal, you've been in tears. Who wouldn't be? After all, you grew up together, shared so many good and bad times with each other, but now it's over. Your friend is gone for good. Or is he? Since now you can just dig him up and make him your pet. We all know someone that has a loved one who has recently passed on. Only now they have rejoined the family in a zombie state. They're not quite who they used to be anymore, but who cares? They're back in our lives, and that's all that matters. Now, Barney, you're contemplating on bringing one of your dearly departed back into your life. Why not? You miss Hal. So what is the first question?
To ask Hal if he's ever slept with my wife.
No, the first question isn't how to get your dead buddy Hal to finally admit that he slept with your wife. I think you already know the answer anyway. Of course he did. Who hasn't?
I can't believe he'd do that.
Well, Barney, it happened, so get over it.
Well, he had to be under some kind of magical spell then.
You think your buddy Hal was under some kind of magical spell? Now, Barney, why would you think that?
It's the only thing that makes any sense.
Now, Barney, how does that make any sense? I mean, the idea of a magical spell is just plain preposterous. Wouldn't it be far more logical that Hal just wanted to have sex with your wife?
No, because he was my best friend.
Yeah, and your wife's buddy. But Barney, forget about that nonsense now. The bigger question is, how do you reintegrate your dead aunt, uncle, or even your recently dead, backstabbing friend Hal back into your life? Try thinking of your resurrected douchebag of a best friend Hal like you would an uncle with Alzheimer's. Oh look, there's your good buddy Hal. He can't remember that his keys are still under your bed where he left them after having sex with your wife. He can't even remember that he's your best friend, for that matter. But he still wants to bite your wife. What a great friend he is, Barney. Simply the best.
Will Hal still try to have sex with my wife?
Yeah, Barney, probably now more than ever. Just be sure to get a muzzle. Feeling better now, Barney?
No, not really.
No? Well, try eating another burger. That ought to make you feel good for a while. Okay, with your dumb question out of the way, let's keep going. So, you have a deceased friend that you stupidly considered to be your best friend and confidant when he was in living form. Though, as it turns out, Barney, more like a backstabbing douchebag of a friend. Now you want him returned to you. God knows why. At any rate, we all desire to be with the ones most closest to us, even if they were dickwads before they passed on. So now is your chance to make that dream come true and to reunite with your dirtbag friend. Having a spouse or best friend return from the dead can be very satisfying. Well, probably not in your case, Barney. Nevertheless, you might find that you enjoy Hal's company even more now. Remember, this is also a good time to patch up whatever differences you may have had in the past. Like, say, with your dead chum Hal, for having sex with your wife over and over again.
I'd like to kill him.
Yes, I know you'd like to kill him for that, but he's already dead, so maybe you can just get over it. Who knows? Maybe you're right, and he really was under some magical spell.
Do you really think so, too?
No, of course not. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, really, Barney, I'll say it again. Who hasn't slept with your wife? You do realize there's a reason she's never at home.
Well, her job is very demanding, and she has to travel a lot.
Yeah, she's traveling. from one bed to the next.
How would you know?
Barney, I know a great many things. Try to use this time together to heal old wounds and get even closer, but not too close. Whatever disagreements you may have had in the past can now be forgotten forever. Certainly by then, that should be great news for you, Barney, and your buddy Hal.
Will I also forget everything?
No, Barney, unfortunately, you'll still remember that Hal fucked your wife repeatedly, but Hal won't. So that's something, right?
Will Hal still remember our plans to open a hamburger shop with a magical theme?
No, he won't remember that either, and I strongly recommend you forget it as well. The good news is, I know many husbands and wives who love their zombie spouse more than they ever did before. One husband told me how happy and liberated he felt, even quoted to me, "No nagging, bitching, need for divorce, or having to pay alimony. Just stick her in a cage and let her rot."
Are they still intimate?
I'm not really sure if they're still intimate, and I would certainly caution against that sort of behavior, unless you're one very weird guy and into that sort of thing. Of course, in that case, I would remove the teeth of that rotting corpse.
You mean Hal?
Not Hal. I'm not implying that you'll be having sex with Hal. At least I certainly hope not. Although, Barney, I am betting you're certainly one weird guy. Anyway, my point here is that in some cases a returned loved one can reinvigorate a relationship. Well, maybe in this example, merely provide an easy way out of a loveless marriage. Try to avoid hugs or even simple pecks on the cheek, especially any kind of intimate contact. Again, Barney, I'm not talking about with you and Hal, just in general. Say with a spouse or a child. While it might be tempting to be affectionate, your zombie is still dangerous. No matter who your zombie is, it has only one thought on its mind.
Yeah, to sleep with my wife.
No, Barney, not to sleep with your wife, but to bite you. Who knows, though? Maybe your dead buddy Hal will consider you tainted meat. Seeing the amount of burgers you eat, I certainly would. In any case, I would just play it safe and avoid any kind of physical contact.
You mean with my wife?
No, Barney, I'm not talking about with your wife, but with the zombie. You know, the dead guy, Hal? Anyway, Barney, I know this kind of problem should seem easy to avoid, but we're just living humans, so our feelings for our undead loved ones can take over.
Really?
Trust me, it only takes one single moment of weakness and we let our guard down. For example, seeing our undead loved one hurt and thinking, "Oh look, it's my baby girl, Samantha. She's got a boo-boo, and it looks like she really could use a big hug." Shortly thereafter, you're hurling down the road in an ambulance on the way to the hospital where you'll soon be quarantined and eventually end up at Big Bob's Pet Zombie Emporium.
I've never been there before.
What, Barney? You've never been to Big Bob's? Yes, well, keep it that way. You know, there's a reason why Big Bob's inventory is always growing. So don't become one of those idiots who winds up there. Now, Barney, why do I have this feeling I'll be seeing you at Big Bob's any day now? Barney, try to avoid using the name Samantha for the little girl you dream of having, or even having a little dead girl as a pet zombie. I'm certain you'll end up foolishly having your throat ripped out by your sweet little princess, all due to the fact that you're overly compassionate.
What's that supposed to mean?
Trust me, Barney, this is bound to happen to you. For God's sakes, have you forgotten the time when you almost got run over trying to chase that stray kitten across the street?
But it was hungry.
Okay, Barney, so you thought it was hungry. But that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about.
How'd you know I always wanted to have a girl named Samantha?
How did I know? Well, just a lucky guess, I suppose.
Well, then, how'd you also know about the kitten?
Well, like I said, I know a great many things, Barney.
Is it because you're some sort of wizard?
Barney, clearly you must be joking.
No, really, I'm not.
You're not joking. You really think I might be? Well, I'm not a silly wizard. I guess, though, it's because I'm just super intuitive about people. Anyhow, Barney, I really hope that you're truly getting the point here. You need to always take care when dealing with your pet zombie. While they might have been your dickwad of a friend Hal, a spouse, or other relative when they were formerly alive, now that they are just a walking sack of decayed meat, a zombie, you need to remember your dead dummy is very dangerous. You still love them and always will. Okay, so in your case, Barney, you kinda hate Hal right now. Nevertheless, just be careful when dealing with those near and dear dead ones.